Office Horror Story is a straightforward horror game where you fend off a chainsaw-wielding murderer as you learn more about him, eventually leading to you burning his grave in the end. But what if it wasn't that simple? In this video, we will discuss my theory that we, the main character, is actually the chainsaw murderer in Office Horror Story. While in the game you do have a chainsaw swinging guy coming after you to kill you, this is actually a decoy for the true story hidden within. Searching through the game, I gathered evidence from 3 different areas, which are the developer's messages, the collectible notes, and, of course, the conclusion. So, let's jump right into the first one. The developer's messages provide as a foundation to how you're supposed to view the game in front of you, and this is very important with the first screen shown before any levels ever began. I don't paint dreams or nightmares, I paint my own reality. This message right off the bat implies that not all of this is actually real, because what we are looking at is dreams, nightmares, and something that actually happened. So we have to determine what is real, what events actually did occur, and what is just all in a dream. Because straight off, they give you a bunch of hints that most of the game is actually just all in his head. When you enter the game, you first wake up to this screen, which already tells you that you've been asleep. So what you see may not actually be real. And once you go through the level and you reach the end of the office, this will be proven true. This subtle but important screen proves that you must be in a dream, because after you exit the office when you fell asleep the first time, you end up right back in it, which means you're stuck in some kind of loop, but for what, you don't know yet. Once you complete the game, you are left with this. Who's to say that dreams and nightmares aren't as real as the here and now? You should never paint dreams or nightmares, paint your own reality. This mirrors the message we are given in the first few seconds of the game, but also puts a twist on it. What if these dreams and nightmares are as real as the here and now? We don't know that, unless we dig a little deeper. Now, onto the notes. The collectible notes help establish a firm plot for the real-life events in this game, while also giving you some really big clues to what actually happened. So, let's jump into those. The first of 4 notes is probably the most useless one. It offers no real story element and just kind of moves the game along while telling you to go to the second floor and to beware of the chainsaw killer that supposedly is actually the bad guy. The next 3 are the ones I want to focus on because they actually tell a cohesive story. There is something strange about our janitor. He's scaring me. And that's the basis of what this story starts out with. Someone is suspicious of the janitor, but right now, there's no proof that he's done anything wrong. But in what we've played, he's definitely what we perceive to be the chainsaw killer. But that's important. With no evidence, he can't be a bad guy yet until we prove that to be the truth. One day, I saw him buying a chainsaw. Now I'm freaking out. We have confirmed that the janitor has the chainsaw, which means he is definitely the guy in the game that we're playing. So if he's the murderer, how do we prove that to be true? Because you can still be freaking out over something that means nothing. The janitor does the job all around the office. Maybe he's trimming some trees outside. You can't just say that he's the evil villain of this entire thing if you have no proof. And that's where the third note comes in, which really drops a bombshell. A few days later, we found him dead. Someone cut his head off with his own chainsaw. There we go. The chainsaw killer in the game is actually completely innocent. Someone murdered him with his own chainsaw. He wasn't bad, he was just doing his job. And someone is here to blame. And we actually know who that is. And the game reveals it all. After burning his grave and leaving the building, you are left with this 10-second clip of you holding the janitor's chainsaw to his head and cutting it off. He stares you in the eyes blankly, but it's too late. You've gone through with it. You are the chainsaw killer, not him. He was always a decoy, just a plague in your mind. Now, with that in mind, I will take all this together and explain the entire game, because it's really a tragic story that's hidden under just a fun horror experience. The true story of Office Horror Story is about you, a man who isn't alright mentally. You go to work every day, you leave, and then one day you see the janitor, and you become suspicious of him. You think he looks weird, which I understand. He looks kinda gross, and maybe he has AIDS, HIV, I don't freaking know. But you shouldn't just judge people like that, because maybe you're wrong. And that's the case of this story. You get suspicious of him, you see him buying the chainsaw, and then you, thinking he's going to use it to kill other people, kill him yourself. And at that moment, you regret it. It plagues your mind every time you go to sleep. It reminds you, it attacks you. It tells you what you did. And you try to forget it, but you can't. Your mind keeps telling you again and again what you did and why you're a terrible person. And even when you try to burn his grave where you buried him, in your mind to erase the memory, it still remains. It always comes back. It's like it's haunting you, just as the Chainsaw Killer did in the actual game. It's all connected, but you can't do anything to stop it. You're trapped in this infinite cycle of suffering because of a terrible act that you committed. No matter how hard you try to deny that it was you, saying that someone else did it, that you didn't know that this occurred, it will always come back to haunt you. Well guys, that's going to do it for the video. If you did enjoy, of course, hit that like button and comment down below your thoughts on my theory. It took a lot of time to compile all of this, and it came from the original video of when I revisited the game and saw what truly lied within. So if you do enjoy this, check out some of my other content, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll continue to make better quality as I move forward. With that, like and subscribe if you did enjoy, and see you guys next time.